Section 13.3 and 13.4 is about multiplying polynomials. Alright, so first of all, we are going to distribute. Basically, these first several problems, we're just multiplying a monomial, so that's something with a single term, by a polynomial. And we are, so basically just distributing. So we're going to multiply 5x times negative 3x to the fourth. So 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And then that's an invisible 1 there. And 1 plus 4 is 5. So that'll be x to the fifth. Alright. And then we're also going to multiply 5x times 4x. So that would be plus 20x squared. Alright, and that's it for that. Okay, number 2. Alright, so we're going to distribute again, so 5x squared multiplied by negative 3x to the third, so that's going to be negative 15. Add the exponents, so that's going to be x to the fifth. Then 5x squared times 6x, so that would be plus 30x to the third, because 2 plus 1 is 3. Then 5x squared times negative 2 would be negative 10x squared. Alright, number 3, we're distributing, so we're multiplying 2/3 times each one of these. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and write this out a little bit more detailed. So 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. And then we still just have that x there. Plus 2/3 times 6 over 1. And you still have the x squared. Minus 2/3 times 2 over 1, x to the third power. Alright, so there's nothing to reduce here, so that's just going to be 8/3 x plus, and then 3 will go into 6 2 times. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So there would be 4 over 1. So that's just 4. So it's 4x squared minus. And there's nothing to reduce on this one. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. So it's 4/3 x to the third power. Okay. Number 4. So we're still just distributing here. It's just that the monomial is written at the end, and you know, instead of at the front, but it's the same thing. Alright, so negative 4 times negative 7 would be positive 28. And then there is an invisible power of 1 on the x. So 3 plus 1 is 4, so that's going to be x to the 4th y squared. Plus, actually not plus, let's make that minus, because 6 times negative 7, so that'd be negative 42 x to the 3rd y squared. And then a negative times a negative, so that would be plus 35. That's also an invisible 1 there, so that's going to be x squared y squared. Alright, and then number 5, again, we are distributing. So that's going to be negative 15 a squared b to the 3rd minus 15 a squared b squared plus, so you could say that's an invisible 1 if you like. Negative times a negative is a positive. That's going to be 5 a to the 3rd b. All right. So those were all just basically distributing with a monomial to a bigger polynomial. And then now we're going to look at how to multiply a binomial times another binomial. All right, so in other words, something that has 2 terms times something else that has 2 terms. So for that, we're going to use FOIL. So FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. So that means you're going to multiply the first term of each binomial together, then you're going to multiply the 2 outside terms, then the 2 inside terms, and then the last term from each binomial. Alright, so first means x times x in this case, which will be x squared. And then outside, x times 3, so that would be plus 3x. And then inside, 6 times x, that would be plus 6x. And then last would be 6 times 3, so that would be plus 18. Okay, so then we're going to combine the like terms, which in this case are the 2 terms in the middle, 3x plus 6x, which would equal positive 9x. Okay, and I'll just bring down the x squared and bring down the plus 18. Alright, so our final answer is x squared plus 9x plus 18. Okie dokie. So on number 7, again, it's a binomial times a binomial, so I'm going to use FOIL. So first, x times x is x squared. And then outside, x times negative 6 would be minus 6x. Lost my orange pen, so I'm trying out some new orange options. Inside, 3 times x, that would be plus 3x. And then last, 3 times negative 6 would be negative 18. All right, and then combine the like terms. Negative 6x plus 3x would equal negative 3x. Bring down x squared, bring down minus 18. So our final answer is x squared minus 3x minus 18. All right. Number 8, again, it's a binomial times a binomial, so I'm going to use FOIL. And so 7x times negative 2x, so that's the first, times the first, so that's negative 14x squared. And then for the outside will be 7x times negative 3, so that would be negative 21x. That looks too much like red, oh well. If you know me, you know I have a thing about color. Alright, and then inside 1 times negative 2x, that'd be minus 2x. And then last, 1 times negative 3, so that would be minus 3. Then we need to combine the like terms in the middle. So negative 21x minus 2x would be negative 23x. So bring down negative 14x squared and bring down a negative 3. All right. Next page, number 9. And again, we're foiling. All right. So, first, x times 3x, so that would be 3x squared. And then outside, x times 2y. Okay, that would be 2xy plus, oh yeah, highlighter's probably better than that. Plus 2xy. Okie dokie, and then inside that would be negative 18x, and last that would be negative 12y. Okay, now in this case there are no like terms to combine, so that is the final answer. All right, number 10. First, 5y times 6y is 30y squared. Outside, 5y times negative 5 would be negative 25y. Inside, 1 times 6y would be plus 6y. And last, 1 times negative 5 would be minus 5. So combine the like terms. Negative 25y plus 6y would equal negative 19y. And bring down 30y squared and bring down minus 5. And there we have our final answer. Okie dokie. So number 11, again we're foiling. So first that's going to be 6b squared. Outside, that's negative 21bc. Oops. And inside, negative 10bc. All right, so you could say CB, but it's just the same thing, and it's just kind of traditional to go in alphabetical order. You don't really have to, but all right. And then last, that would be plus 35c squared. All right. Combine the like terms in the middle. That would make negative 31bc. Bring down 6b squared. Bring down plus 35c squared. And that's our final answer right there. All right, so number 12, we have 3x minus 7 in parentheses squared. Okay, so you cannot simply just distribute the exponent in this case. Okay, that works if whatever you have in the parentheses is just one term, like it's just multiplying or it's just a fraction. So in this case, since we're squaring it, that means we would have to do 3x minus 7 times 3x minus 7, and we would have to FOIL that. Okay, so 3x times 3x gives me 9x squared, and then outside 3x times negative 7 equals negative 21x, and then inside negative 7 times 3x is negative 21x. Then last, negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. All right. Then combine the like terms in the middle. Negative 21x minus 21x would equal negative 42x. And then I'm just going to bring down the 9x squared and bring down the plus 49. All right, and that's our final answer. So see, if you just think you can just distribute the squared to each of those terms, it doesn't work because you'd miss out on that middle term that you're supposed to have there. Okay. So number 13, same thing. We're going to need to write that out and then FOIL it. It's going to be 5a plus 3b times 5a plus 3b. So first, 5a times 5a equals 25a squared. Outside, 5a times 3b would be plus 15ab. And then inside, 3b times 5a is plus 15ab. And last, 3b times 3b is plus 9b squared. Okay. And then we're going to combine the like terms in the middle. So 15ab plus 15ab equals positive 30ab. Bring down 25a squared and bring down plus 9b squared. All right. Number 14, so in this case, we have a trinomial, so that's 3 terms multiplied by a binomial. All right, so it's similar to FOIL, it just has a little bit extra. So the important thing is that each one of these terms is multiplied by each one of those terms. Okay, so the order really doesn't matter. We just use FOIL and do it in that order because FOIL happens to be a word. That's really the only reason. So it makes it easier to remember. But the order really doesn't matter. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I'm just going to do x squared times x. So there's an invisible 1 there, so that's x to the 3rd power. And then, let's see, next I'm going to do x squared times 7, which would give me plus 7x squared. Then I will do 2x times x, which would be plus 2x squared. Then I'm going to do 2x times 7, which gives me plus 14x. Then I'm going to do negative 6 times x, which is minus 6x. And finally, I will do negative 6 times 7, which gives me minus 42. All right, then I'm just going to combine the like terms. So x cubed doesn't have any like terms to combine with it, so I'm just going to bring that down. And then plus 7x squared plus 2x squared, so that would be plus 9x squared. Okay. And then 14x minus 6x would equal positive 8x. And then I'll just bring down the minus 42. And that would be my final answer. All right. That wasn't so bad. All right, number 15. So we have 3 binomials that are all multiplying together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start by foiling the first 2 together. And then I'll have a trinomial to multiply with that last binomial, and that'll be similar to number 14. Alright, so I'm just going to FOIL these. So that's going to be 3x squared plus 18x minus 2x minus 12. Alright, now I'm going to keep that in parentheses, and all that still eventually has to get multiplied by x minus 3. Okay. Alright, but first, before I multiply it by x minus 3, I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms there. So I still have parentheses 3x squared, and then when I combine the like terms, that's going to be plus 16x, and then bring down minus 12, parentheses times x minus 3. Alright, so now I'll go ahead and multiply these together. So I'll do 3x squared times x, which is going to give me 3x to the 3rd. And then I'm going to do 3x squared times negative 3, which is going to give me minus 9x squared. Then I will do 16x times x, which would give me plus 16x squared. Then 16x times negative 3 which would give me negative 48x. Then negative 12 times x, which is negative 12x, and negative 12 times negative 3, which is plus 36. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to bring down 3x cubed because it doesn't have any like terms to combine with it. Then I'm going to combine the x squared, so negative 9x squared plus 16x squared is going to equal positive 7x squared. Then negative 48x plus 12x is going to equal negative 60x. And then bring down to plus 36. And we have the final answer. And again, I'm going to claim that that was not that bad. Look, only took up that much room. All right. Okay. So let's see. I think we can fit this all into one video without having to cut it. Let's see here. What we're doing here is some geometry type applications with multiplying with polynomials. All right, so number 16 says find an expression for the area of the triangle. Okay, so the formula for the area of a triangle is A equals 1/2 BH. So in other words, that area is equal to 1/2 times the base times the height. Okay, so in this case, so A equals 1/2 times the base, which is n plus 5, times the height, which is 2n minus 7. Okay, so I'm going to FOIL. I'm just going to leave that 1/2 there for right now and just FOIL. Alright, so that's going to be plus, or not plus, there's going to be a parentheses still here. That's going to be 2n squared minus 7n plus 10n minus 35. Okay, and then we can combine the like terms. So we still have the 1/2 in the front, still have the 2n squared. We need to combine negative 7n plus 10n will be plus 3n, and bring down minus 35. Alright, and then we're just going to distribute the 1/2. Okay, so it's basically like you're just putting these all over 2. So like 1/2 times 2 is just 1. Okay, so 1n squared, or in other words, just n squared. And then 1/2 times 3, okay, that's just going to be 3/2 n. You can put that over a 1 if that helps you. And then 1/2 times 35 is just going to be 35 over 2. So minus 35 over 2. Alright, so that's our final answer for that. Alright, and then number 17 says find an expression for the area of the parallelogram. Okay, so here we have the formula. The area of a parallelogram is equal to the base times the height. Alright, so on our parallelogram, the base is 2m plus 3, and the height is 2m minus 3. So the area will equal 2m plus 3 times 2m minus 3. So we would FOIL that. So that would be 4m squared minus 6m plus 6m minus 9. And then combine the like terms. 6m, or negative 6m plus 6m, that's just going to cancel out. So my final answer is going to be 4m squared minus 9. All right, and last but not least, we have the area of a circle. So the formula for area of a circle is A is equal to pi r squared, okay? So r represents the radius, which is the distance from the center to any point on the actual circle itself. And then pi is a number, which is represented by this Greek letter symbol here. And it's approximately equal to 3.14, but you don't actually need to know that because when we're doing our problem, we're just going to leave it as the pi symbol. Okay, so we want to find an expression for the area of the circle. All right, so, and in this case, r is equal to y plus 5, so a is equal to pi times y plus 5 squared. Okay, so that is going to be pi times y plus 5 times y plus 5. So we're going to FOIL. So leave the pi there for now and just FOIL. So when we FOIL that, it's going to be y squared plus 5y plus 5y plus 25. Okay. Then we're going to combine the like terms, so pi is still going to be there. Combine, so we still have y squared, but we're combining the like terms. 5y plus 5y makes 10y. Bring down plus 25. All right, and then finally we're going to distribute the pi. Okay, so typically for each term, if there's like a numerical coefficient, that'll go in front, and then the pi, and then the variable, which in this case is y. Okay, so we're going to have pi y squared plus